Hey, I done got caught up about both music. The introduction or the countdown music was going, and I done hit a beat, and I'm bobbing, and I looked up like, oh my God, 2 seconds. It only take a damn beat. It only take a damn beat for
Yes.
me. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. How are you?
I am well. How was your week?
It was pretty good.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
do anything, but it was pretty good.
Hey, that's a good week.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
good week. That is a
I mean, I
good.
did have some interviews, but that was it.
I just saw, we gonna talk about that in the meeting after the meeting. I just saw something um about a lady, and I don't necessarily know if it was an HIM position or not. I don't think so, but some people from HIM chimed in, and that's how I saw um the the post. But she talked about how she didn't, based on somebody's resume, she didn't call them in for an interview, and they applied to one position, I think twice, and in another position using the same resume, whatever. And then she finally called them in, and the person shined, and like they hired them immediately. It's a whole thing. We're gonna talk about that because
Okay.
that was some foolishness, the whole thing. And then the comments, comments be commenting, right? So we'll talk about that. All right, all right. Well, let's get this party started. Yeah, y'all still freezing? Y'all got snow?
It's a balmy 20 degrees.
Balmy. Wait, I felt like it was a heat wave when it hit 30 the other day. I said, do I
Exactly.
take my coat off? What do I
It's cold.
But that snow won't go away. The snow from the previous snowfalls, it's still holding on like I'm not leaving you. I'm
See, we
staying here forever.
we don't have a lot of snow. It's just cold and everything's icy.
The
Some
the
because it hasn't really melted.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Our snow is not going away. It's like we staying here forever. We she said a heat wave. What? We staying here forever. Okay, well, welcome everybody to the Saturday morning tea. Here we brew up the hottest topics in healthcare. We discuss health information, news, education, certification tips, the cold, balmy weather, how folks plan with the resumes, uh, all of the things, but more importantly, the revenue cycle at large. So, sir, why are you typing? As you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. All I hear was tap, tap, tap. Like you right here is at your mic. Anyway, I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance in education. And let me ask, do you know in 2025 what it takes to be a certified, marketable, stress, marketable medical coder? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. Hey, I'm getting all the music today. All right, so if
Mhm.
so if you're interested in getting more information about the 5, which we probably going to increase just from our conversation over the last few Saturday morning teas, we're going to increase them steps. But anyway, if you want more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, check out the video description for the link. So joining me today is my partner in success. Yes, my co-host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I have been in healthcare for decades. In 2014, I left the bedside and I started in HIM. In 2020, during the pandemic, I created a company called Decoding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Mm-hmm. And how is that going?
It's coming along.
It's coming along. All right, coming along. All right, all right. So, before we jump in, let me remind you all that you can be part of the conversation. So, we bring the topics, we bring the guests, we bring the folks. But you can also be part of the conversation by using your chat and placing your comments there. And remember, your opinion matters and is welcomed here, always. So, friends, use the chat. If you have a question, please type Q first so we know it is a question for us and we don't miss it. So let's see who's in the house. Who's in the house? Good morning, Crafty Coder. Crafty Coder is our on the street correspondent. Yes, we had a heat
Yes.
wave. I know in balmy Florida, a balmy 20 degrees is not a heat wave. But y'all had some snow down in parts of Florida as well. So y'all getting a piece of this. Good morning, Tanika. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ah, good morning. How are you? Happy New Year. All right. She said Jesse is the king and queen maker. Meeting him was a huge changer. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's see. Good morning, Vicky. Happy New
Yeah, hey,
Year. We
Vicky.
haven't seen you in a minute. In a
No.
month of Saturdays, ma'am.
Yeah.
You've been backsliding. Come on, slide in. Slide
Yeah.
in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay. So, for those who are joining us or watching the replay, today we have a little special guest for you. And we're talking why AHIMA membership matters beyond the basics, things that you may have known and things you may have not known. All of the things. But first, let's get into our church announcements. Shall we? I thought you was hitting the fan already. I was like, sir,
No,
sir.
I'm practicing restraint. I'm waiting for the music.
Hey, 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 hey.
So we better celebrate them while we can.
Sir. Lift him up, lift him up.
Yes.
Oh. All right, all right. Okay. I love me some organ church music. I swear, it just does something for my spirit. Ooh, okay. So today I want to talk a little bit about what's happening, well, some of the things that has happened over at CMS. So I don't know if you remember when we talked about the final rules, and there was information regarding transforming maternal health, and they were creating a whole model that they wanted to use for combating the maternal health crisis that has been happening in our country. Well, on January 6th, they selected or announced the selected 15 states that are to participate in the transforming maternal health model. So you have Alabama, Arkansas, California, DC, Illinois, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, New Jersey, Oklahoma, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Wisconsin are the 15 states who will participate in that model. And the initiatives around that model is access to care, infrastructure, and workforce capacity. And I believe they're going to focus primarily, I thought I saw something in here, primarily on Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries initially. They also want to focus on quality improvement and safety, and lastly, whole person care delivery. So, oh yes, it's Medicaid, not Medicare. Why would somebody on Medicare need maternal health? Women enrolled in Medicaid, including those in underserved communities and or rural areas, are the ones that often experience significant disparities in maternal health care and poor health care outcomes for themselves and their newborns. So this is why they are putting together and promoting this. Oh wow, they have a whole. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna have to put this in the. I'll put this on the resources page. I'll link this as a resource so you all can see this from CMS. And so those are the 15 states. If that is one of those states or one of the states in which you reside or work, kudos, and check out what is happening in your area around maternal health. And then the last one I had was that CMS announces funding opportunities to recruit RNs to work in nursing homes and state survey agencies. So y'all can get away out of AHIMA. No, I'm kidding. So y'all can get away from health information. Anyway, CMS announced a notice of funding opportunity, or NOFO, available through the Nursing Home Staffing Campaign. And so the NOFO will accept applications from organizations interested in administering financial incentives aimed at recruiting registered nurses to work in nursing homes and state survey agencies. Organizations eligible to apply are nonprofit organizations that have relationships with RN schools or RN students. So yeah, those are my church announcements. Mr. Jesse, you have any church announcements for the day?
I just have one. I have an ICD 10 CM class beginning Wednesday, February 14th, 2025. And for more information, visit thecodingnurse.com.
Okay, you faded out. Why are you?
For more information, go to thecodingnurse.com.
Yes. All right. All right. All right.
Tanika has a question.
I see. Is this going to be a spike tea session? Well, our guest will let you know whether or not it's going to be a spike tea session. How about that? My tea is not spiked, but I have multiple tea bags. I have at least 3 tea bags in here. So it's a strong cup of tea. How about that? All right. Well, let me get rid of this music and the banner. I think we're ready. So let the tea spilling begin. Let's welcome to the stage our guest, Dr. Jasmine Agnew, the Senior VP of Academic Affairs and Professional Credentials at AHIMA. Welcome. Yay. I need a whole little clapping thing. Yay. Yay. So, ma'am, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
All right. Okay. So y'all want the long version or short version?
Whichever version you like to get.
All right. So I am originally from Mississippi. When I graduated from high school, my plan was to go to Mississippi State and be a cattle farmer like my grandfather. It was not until I had a visit to Mississippi State and I saw where they had cut the fistula in the back of the cow so you could see all the inner workings that I decided, you know what? It's probably ain't for me. And so I ended up starting at the junior college. And at the time, my mother, the first Dr. Agnew, was teaching there. And she introduced me to the program director for the health information program. And she told me about all of the opportunities. And back then, you know, just everything that you could do with health information. And I fell in love. I fell in love with knowing I can make an impact in healthcare, but not necessarily be having patient contact. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I started my journey. Did my 2 years at Edawamba Community College, go Indians, at SCC. And then I went to work. I got my RHIT and I worked for a few years and then decided about 6 years later, I was going to go back to school. My mentor who I met, she had a job open. I knew I had that job. Like I knew she was going to give me that job and she didn't. And when I talked to her later, when we finally established our relationship, I said, "Why didn't you give me that job?" She said, "Because you need to go back to school." She said, "Because if I had given you that job, you would have stopped." And she was right. I probably would have gotten complacent. And so she inspired me to go back to school. Got my bachelor's degree in health information management from the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Finished there in May, and then in that August, I started at the University of Tennessee and got my master's degree in health informatics and information management. Graduated there in December of 2010, and in January of 2011, started my master's of theological studies with a concentration in interdisciplinary studies because I wanted to know about using healthcare data and using patient data to help to create sustainable programs within vulnerable populations. I work with a lot of HBCUs, a lot of churches in the Black community on how we can create programs to meet the needs of the people. If you have a population of folks that are over the age of 65 and need transportation to get back and forth to the doctor, or they need somebody to help them understand prescriptions or their condition, starting a single mother ministry, while that may be a good idea, may not be the needs of the people at the time. So how do we determine how we can be spirit-led and data-driven? And so I worked in that for a while, and then went back into healthcare because this lovely thing called an EHR came to be, and I wanted to be part of that. And so worked in EHR implementation, system design, training for a few years, and then in 2015 made the transition into academia because training kind of incited this passion for education for me, because I wanted to not only learn about teaching somebody how to do a job, I wanted to be a part of that foundational education. So I went back, transitioned into academia, and my mother, again, the first Dr. Agnew, shared with me the same thing she shared with her nursing faculty. Just because you can place a cath don't mean you can teach a class. Just because you know how to do it doesn't mean you know how to teach it. So that was what
Come
kind of
on. Oh, I feel a whole shout right there. That's a whole word. Lord
that's what pushed
Jesus.
me to get training in academics and education, instructional delivery, student learning type, universal design for learning, and get my doctorate in education. So that's just kind of my educational background. And again, I worked in EHR implementation back in the McKesson days where we had them sticky barcodes that used to get caught up in that machine all the time. And then, moving to a fully digital record with Epic, work with Greenway and Entergy. And so but I started as a file clerk. So, I'm kind of seeing just about every space of the HIM department and then the departments that support HIM and what we do to support the inner workings and the operation of the healthcare organization. So, yeah, it's been,
Yes.
I've been with HIM for a long time, and I used to say I've been with him for a long time. I ain't talking about my ex-husband. I'm talking about helping. I love him. Yeah, not him. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, and
Oh
so
my God.
kind of brought, and so now that's brought me here to AHIMA, where I could, not only share my love for education and helping to support educators, but also support learners and support those emerging professionals to get you in, get you educated, get you prepared, and then get you certified so you can be effective and be a force in the workplace. So
Absolutely. Well, we're glad you're here. I'm glad you're at AHIMA. I'm also glad you're here with us today. Mr. Jesse, did you have any thoughts or comments? Or
Not yet.
look, you can jump in whenever you
Not just nice to meet you. I was at the educational town hall.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and the Zoom debacle. That's my fault. I'm gonna take that. I didn't know the difference of webinar and a meeting. That's my fault.
Folks was
I'm sorry.
texting me like, you in? You in? I had like 4 or 5 people. You in? I said,
I'm
well, no, I'm
sorry.
not
It will never
in.
happen
Like,
again. I have a sticky note right here that says, "Do not schedule a meeting. Schedule a webinar." I got
yes.
it.
But it was I thought it was a great session. It was great to see the people who are on your team, who, get to know them, get to know what they bring to the table and how they can assist educators in our endeavors in educating, future students. So I thought it was good. I thought it was a great, because it was your first one, right?
Was our
Because
first
I don't
first
think
meeting?
we've ever
You never
I don't
have
think
one.
I ever seen ever
Mm-mm.
seen anything like that. So
Right.
I was excited. I know I've been on town hall. Well, I as I'm past president for OHIMA, and then I'm also a delegate. So I've done the advocacy stuff. I've done, just the CA stuff and seeing those types of town halls. But this was something new with education. So I was pleasantly surprised and excited for some of the changes that I know are going to come down.
Well, you got to realize that education is the conduit. We are the
Absolutely.
pipeline,
Absolutely.
for the life and the longevity of our profession. It kind of lies in education and training and
Absolutely.
certification. And so, if you don't have that workforce and that we can say, hey, these people have an expansive skill set, they know how to do lots of things. Then what would where
What we
will we
gonna do?
go? What will we do?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. It's
because I
gonna
can
dry up
tell
and
you
be like, well, remember that profession back in the day?
exactly. And we've been around for this long for almost 100 years for a reason. So I think that this is a great move from the organization for them to focus on academics. And so I'm absolutely excited about the opportunity.
Yes. All right. Well, we got some questions that we
All
just
right.
wanted to ask and get your thoughts on as it relates to um, membership and AHIMA as a whole. I know I invited some students, and hopefully the students have come on. And if they're watching, feel free to use the chat if you have some additional things that you want to ask. I mean, like when you actually get this type of opportunity to have the senior VP in front of you to ask some questions.
Absolutely.
So so again, I am
Whenever they book an appointment, I got a
well that
whole
too.
list that says
That
book
part
an
too.
appointment. Come talk to me. I love to talk.
But she's introducing herself and giving you information on how you can connect with her. So that's just that transparency that AHIMA has been talking about of late, and so I appreciate it and I love it. So again, thank you so much for taking the time, even though you are a friend of the pod, as folks say. You a friend of the pod. She has been on our Saturday morning tea from the comfort of her covers for several weeks now.
Absolutely. Had me thinking I could go be a coder. Nope.
Hello. Well, we got some new people. Hello, Roxanne.
Right
Welcome,
there.
welcome, welcome. Okay. So, Dr. Agnew, what
Mhm.
changes have you observed in how professionals utilize their AHIMA membership over the past few years, even maybe before you got the role, but now that you're actually also in the role?
I think one of the greatest the things that I've witnessed is that we focus more on social capital and what that means of making those meaningful connections. We are a connectional organization. A lot of the people, whether it's from the top down when it comes to our leadership that we have elected, and then the people that are in the CAs as well as the membership body, they use that to create those relationships to keep people not only abreast of what's going on, but we can also talk about changes in the industry. There are outlets like this one where we can get together and we can talk. You don't have to be a member to get on this pod. But once you get here and you find out good information, it will incite a person to want to be a member because they want to be abreast of what's going on. Back in the day, 25 years ago, when I joined AHIMA, I was a student. All I knew about was what we did as a student in student health information technology, and then what we did in Mishima, because that's where I'm from.
Mhm.
But when as time, as things evolved, then we saw opportunities to connect with other states. I moved to Alabama, so now I'm a part of AHIM. I went to school in Tennessee, so I was a part of Tennessee Health Information Management. So it was an opportunity to be a part of all of these state associations or CAs. I've seen us use it as an opportunity, a greater opportunity to network. We're not within silos. We're not in bubbles anymore. These are
That's right.
opportunities for us to expand. And I think that that's great. And that's not only here, but also as we continue to grow across the water for us to be even more effective and to share our skill set across there because people across the water want to be a part of what we do. They want to know about what we do. So I think that it's an international and domestic impact on the profession of health information.
Yes, I love that. And even
Mhm.
here, like people who are working from home, you have the opportunity, especially if you're working in a if you live in a different state than in which you work. So then there's an opportunity to expand your reach in those state associations as well. So you can say, okay, well, they're doing this, they're doing that. I know one of our initiatives that we continued, we started it at AHIMA as a part of the pandemic, but we've continued it with our coding meeting that we have every year, and we open it up to all states, so they can come in and bring their members and be a part of, because it's an online it's a virtual meeting. And so we get the people, we do all the kind of the behind the scenes work, but we open it and expand it to all, and assist other CAs who may not have had the resources to put something on like that. We open it to everybody. And so this, I love it. I think it's a great opportunity. And you're
And we
right.
think about what we see our other organizations that deal with health IT, such as HIMSS. They have students that are even able to test their certifications, from wherever. When I was in my previous role, we had a lot of students that were in Africa that would come and do not only their Six Sigma training with me, but we would also prepare them for the CAHIMSS. Now that I'm with HIMA, I have that same opportunity to expand and to share with them what our certifications mean, what our international membership means, and what they can do to impact healthcare in their country by getting those certifications that are available to our international students.
Now, what country were you in?
What country was
In
I?
Africa.
No, I wasn't in Africa. I had students in Africa.
No. Where did they come from? Where?
Now see, you got me. I have to look.
I'm
up
sorry,
here.
my bad. I'm just curious because I want to take a trip to Ghana, and so
No, I know this student was in Nigeria.
Okay.
Let me look him up. Let me find him. Yeah. Yep, he's in Nigeria and he works in cybersecurity and for the National Health Insurance Authority. Yeah.
Okay. I love it. All right. Well, can you share a success story of how AHIMA's resources helped a member navigate a challenging career transition?
Oh, can I talk about how it helped me to navigate? All right. So again, my very first job was as a coder. And I learned very quickly. God bless them. But that ain't for me. Okay. And then I was at that point to where, this was really all I knew I could do. I thought that if you went to school for health information, you're either going to be a coder or you're going to be a HIM supervisor or HIM manager. It wasn't until I met with other people that were members that said, hey, it's so much more that you can do with your degree and your RHIT than just be a coder or HIM director. So that membership, that social capital, that meaningful relationship helped me to determine what I wanted to do. It was then that I was able to get a job working in hardware and software deployment at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. And I remember having my little cart and going around to the doctor's offices, setting up their computer and then downloading that SoftMed at that time. You know how old that was.
Right.
On the computer and showing them how to use it. And it was because of me being able to do outreach to members that could say there's so much more that you could do than you even imagine. And then as I continued to work there, when I got ready to make my transition into academia, I still was able to reach out not only to previous professors that I had that were AHIMA members and AHIMA, credential, that they would tell me, hey, this is what I would recommend. These are things that you could do. Now, was it always a positive experience? And was I always given advice of, yes, this is a path you should take? No, I wasn't. But there were some of those key people that I met that said, Agnew, this is what I recommend for you to do. This was sound advice. I took it, and then I was able to move from being a practitioner to being a practicing scholar. And so that is where my path has taken me. So that was definitely how I saw the benefit of membership and the relationships and those meaningful connections help with that very tumultuous time, because, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just stay over here and do implementations. I'll go take these contracts and travel. But I had a kid, I had a son. I wanted to be at football games. I wanted to be at track meets, but I also wanted to expand because I saw so many opportunities, especially when it came to training and education, that I wanted to be a part of that move as well. So that was definitely beneficial to me.
Cool. So what upcoming initiatives should our listeners be excited about regarding professional development?
I think now this is coming from a person that has about 22 micro credentials. Micro credentials They're not a replacement for a full credential, but it is an opportunity for you to experience different parts of the profession to determine if that is where you want your path to take you. You can do a micro credential. You can say, you know what, I think I like this. I have a background in coding. Let me see if I like risk adjustment. Let me see if I like auditing. And if I do, then that'll kind of help me chart my path and my certification destination of where I want to go to next. So that is definitely one of those. We are working to improve our study material. Jennifer and her side of the house, they're doing a fantastic job creating those test prep to get you ready for those micro credentials. Another thing that we're doing is we're increasing our outreach and what we're doing for educators, because that is a part of our profession that needs that support. They need that voice. They need those resources to help create meaningful content and meaningful experiential learning courses and activities for students to not only learn what's in that book, but learn how to apply those concepts and theories into practice. We also have opportunities in publication where we have some great updates to books that we've had in the profession that have been used in all of our programs on the associate, baccalaureate, and graduate level, updates to those books. So we have a lot of great things going on when it comes to initiatives to support the growth of not only emerging professionals, but existing professionals as well.
Fabulous. Now, you mentioned Jennifer
Mhm.
Mueller, and for those who don't know, and her side of the house. So can you expand a little bit on who Jennifer is
Sure.
and what her side of the house means and how it relates to your side of the house?
All right, so let me just tell you, my side of the house is academic affairs and professional credentials. I work with academic institutions to help to do outreach to those that are interested in the field to bring them into the programs, whether they do PCAP for coding programs, associate degree, baccalaureate degree, graduate degree programs. Then after they complete their programs, to take those certifications to prepare for the workforce. Jennifer Career Advancement is just that. They help you not only maintain those through continuing education offerings, but also as you move throughout the field, determining what it is that you would like to do. Again, having those resources when you want to chart your path. We work collaboratively. There's overlap on both, especially when it comes to those micro credentials. Because if I've been in the field, I do have my degree. I decide that I want to move from inpatient coding to auditing. I have micro credentials in the professional credential side, but Jennifer has the study guides to prepare you for those micro credentials. So we work in tandem. We're right there together. So one side we get you in, get you educated, get you certified, and the other side keep you educated and keep you certified and moving along your career.
Cool.
Could I
um,
just jump in?
yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Dr. Jasmine,
Mm-hmm.
um, I know that you had talked about the education piece, but if I could just, this is my shameless plug, because there are educators such as myself who are not part of a program. And while
Mm-hmm.
there are resources available for people who have their ICD-10, CMPCS, and CDI trainer credentials, the what the offerings are not as robust as, and they don't have to be doesn't have to be on par, but I think that there needs to be more, because like VLab, for instance, VLab has some very good patient cases if you're enrolled in a program, but if you are a trainer, you don't have access to any of those patient cases. You only have the patient cases that are in the workbook, which I think is a little lack.
Okay, so for those that are in that intersection between being enrolled in a program and those that are clinical instructors in non-degree seeking or non-enrollment programs, is kind of right there between academic affairs and education. So that is definitely an opportunity that we would love to connect to talk about how can we support you all in that, and also with like preceptors and other people that are in programs or in spaces where students are not enrolled, but they are definitely a part of the education process. So definitely, let's connect. Let's talk about that. I think that'd
Okay.
be a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Let's see. How does AHIMA membership support professionals in staying current with emerging technologies and AI in healthcare?
One of the things that we're doing is launching our new podcast that talks about what's going on. It's the High Powered Podcast. We're gonna definitely keep you abreast with that. Another thing is that we're doing a revamp of our offerings when it comes to AI, cybersecurity, and all the emerging technology. And again, that is on the career advancement side. But how I use it is helping educators create resources called headlines in the HR classroom, where we take those emerging technologies, create assessments, and create scenarios to where our students can learn in real time what's going on in the industry right now, especially when it comes to reproductive rights. Just a few weeks ago, I talked about how trauma registries can be valuable when it comes to the event that happened down in New Orleans, because not everybody's from New Orleans. Not everybody died there on the scene. There were some people that the protocol was different, the disposition was different. How do we keep track of what happened to those people, and and did they go home, or did they go, to the morgue following that terrorist event? So lots of opportunities there.
Can you explain how AHIMA's advocacy efforts directly benefit individual members?
Advocacy, when it comes to us on the steps of the Capitol, and as well as talking with those people that are in those key positions, means that we can tell them about our skill set and tell them what we can offer, what we can do, and how important it is to have someone that understands healthcare from that perspective. When it comes to advocacy for the career development side of the house, again, Jennifer is doing a great job talking with those key personnel, the C-suite, about what a HIM person can bring. She has lots of plans for the upcoming years to do that. When it comes to working with advocacy on the Hill, that will be an opportunity for us to talk about why it's important for you to have people that understand regulations and understand patient care and understand a lot of what goes on in the healthcare ecosystem from the HIM perspective. So those are also initiatives that come from what the inner workings of what we do at AHIMA.
Cool.
So I talk with the educators. Jennifer talked to the C-suite. Laura talks on the Hill. So we're always talking.
Yes.
We're just getting definitely more transparent and more vocal with how we talk and who we talk to.
Okay. What are the most underutilized membership benefits that professionals should take advantage of?
Underutilized benefits. What's them? I think that the only underutilized benefit that I could see is attendance at the national convention. When you have 60,000 members, I would love to see at least 10% of us come together, to talk about the profession and to engage. There are some things that impact our ability to do that, but I wish that there was a way for us to connect and use that benefit that comes with membership. But you also have to add, a greater value to that. So I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that, Clarice, because I think that people take advantage of a lot of them. Now, if I'm missing something, people let me know what they need, what we need to create a greater value around. So that would be definitely a great place for us to start. But I can't think of. I know as far as certification, as far as the opportunities, I really can't think of anything. So if there's anything that you want to let me know, tell me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I
If
think
I,
once upon a time,
I think Jesse had something.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I
you,
was. Wait a minute. Let
no,
me
go ahead.
address her.
All right.
Once upon a time, employers would foot the cost of
Mm-hmm.
conferences and CUs and all of that, and over the past decade or so, those numbers have gone down tremendously. So people personally have to foot those bills or use their time, their vacation time or PTO time in
Mm-hmm.
order to attend conferences. So I think that may be one of the reasons why you don't see the at least 10% of the folks at conferences. And so
Well, we can have it in my house.
well, let's go.
Yeah,
I know
house.
you got the big palatial spot. So yes, we got a
The
whole
barbecue
big
in my yard.
background or backyard barbecue.
I bet cake and
um,
everything.
right. And I think the other thing I think that's underutilized is the value of their voice in voting. I don't think a lot of people who are members actually utilize that. They provide information on those who are candidates or nomination or nominees, and people just don't vote. I know, and we even see it at the state level where you lucky if you get 6% or and so
Mhm.
these are the people that you can put in play to help advance your agenda. So I don't know. Just voting, I
So
think, is
what?
another
So
area
on the
why
state level,
people don't use.
how on the state level, how do we do voter registration or voter drive, voter education, not voter registration, but voter education drives to bring people out to vote, to tell them how important it is to hear their voice.
They didn't
And
even have to
so,
come out. It's like they could do it electronic. So I
oh
know
yeah,
for us, we have, and I think other states as well. I've seen other states in action. A lot of them have now begun to use, social media, social platforms in order to send information about the candidates, send newsletters to remind folks, hey, the election is here. Here are the people. I know from our advocacy efforts, we also will reach out to our members and say, hey, don't forget, AHIMA, the ballot is up. People are here. Here are the people. Learn about the candidates, learn about the
right.
nominees.
Mhm.
Here's the time frame in which you need to vote. Um, and again, we do it on the state level as well. So I don't know if it's overkill. I don't know if it's too much and they tune the folks out. I don't know. But I know from this side of the house, I like that. From this side of the house, we actually do, provide those opportunities and information and push that out. How to actually get people to put the information in and do it, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that that's something we should talk about.
And
How can we
again, it
do,
should be what's important. What's important to you, I guess,
right.
is where we can begin that conversation, because I think you try to align the people who are running in these for these positions as
Hmm.
people that are important to the initiatives or the perspective of AHIMA for you. And remember, these people are in positions for a few
Really?
years,
Mhm.
a few years, and can help
Right.
drive that. So,
And
oftentimes,
they represent who elect them. So,
absolutely,
so
absolutely. So
that's their mission.
voters, you gotta use your voice. Go ahead, Mr. Jesse.
I just wanted to touch back on the unused benefits. I think AHIMA has a whole lot of good uh, good course offerings, but I don't think they promote it enough. And I'll give you an example. Like I um, have been learning data analytics, and I just stumbled across two courses that AHIMA has that are a perfect like prerequisite for the CHDA. And I actually spoke to she and I met a couple times. Treyana, the new
True.
uh-huh,
Hmm.
and I shared with her like what I had found, and I found it totally by accident. And it is two courses. Plus, you get CEUs. You get a good amount of CEUs, but in terms of the material, it was really good. And I'm like, if I hadn't stumbled across it, I would have never known, because there's no kind of information like, hey, if you want to get into data analytics, these two courses or this track could help you, and it would also help you get CEUs. And to talk about like a micro credential, like that would be another way for somebody to see, okay, well, let me take this course and see if it's something that I like. And
Hmm.
it turns out to be an amazing. Those two courses were amazing,
Yeah.
but they don't advertise.
And on that side of the house, again, career advancement, those courses that Trey and the other educators create, those are some great courses. So yeah,
They
there's
are.
definitely opportunities for them to talk more about those. We're gonna create some courses on the educator side too. They're coming.
Okay.
Yay. What role does mentorship play in AHIMA's professional development strategy?
Mentorship is really what helps people determine their pathway and how far they want to go in the profession. Our field is one of those where you can find success at every level, but having a mentor that can help you is like I said, I have personal experience with that. The shameless plug for my mentor, Chandra Dunn Ford and Deborah Lawson Lewis, both of them that would not hire me because they both said, we're not hiring you for these jobs because you need to go back to school. And they followed me from that associate degree all the way up to my terminal degree. And when I got ready to celebrate being hooded, they were right there with me. So we need somebody that can walk the mile with us, and that mentor can do that. They can help you determine what education path, what certification, what experience, what jobs, all of these things that are important to shaping who you are as a professional. mentoring is important. So if there's an opportunity for you to sign up for the MTM program, or for you even to find one through membership or just general conversation, finding a mentor is important, and it's a great part of you helping you become who you are personally and professionally.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and I don't know if
I
that sits
still mad
on.
about that $14.60 an hour she wouldn't give me when I was trying to get that job 25 years ago.
Do you
Still mad
remind her often?
all the time, all the time.
Oh my goodness. Um, how does AHIMA support members in different career stages from entry level to executive positions?
Um, Depending on what you need. If it is in your career stages where you are a novice, you're a new student, of course, we have the student resources. If you're a mid-careerist, we do have the career map that's available. If you're on the getting ready to move into emeritus status, we do have things for those that are in further development, those
Mhm.
things that are for those older members and that are preparing to retire, on how to pass on your legacy of what you learn, what you know
Mhm.
about the profession, and how you can pass it down to generations, because it's important to know our history. So we
Absolutely.
support people at every level, especially when it comes to, like I said, on the academic affairs side of the house. And that's not to do with your age. That has to do, again, with your career, where you are as far as, is this your first degree? Is this a career change? And then how can we help you? And then once we get to the career advancement side of the house, are you a mid-careerist, or are you looking to move into a higher level, such as the Leadership Academy that's coming up? Did you have an opportunity to apply for that? And how can that prepare you for moving into those more advanced roles? So we support them through programs, through initiatives. And then, of course, this is something that's definitely in the works, both sides of the house.
Cool. Mr. Jesse, I think this is for you. What are those?
Yeah,
What were
I'm
those two courses?
I'm looking it up now
Oh, okay.
to get
I
it.
know, but Swami, I know you had a meeting with Trey. Did you get a chance to ask her about those? Because I introduced you guys during a call a couple weeks ago.
Mr. Jesse?
Was that for
No,
me?
no,
I
Goswami.
didn't think so. Okay,
Never
Oh,
done
okay.
it.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. That was a question for you. All
Yeah.
right.
Mr. Goswami.
Okay. um, can you explain how this may not necessarily be for you, but can you explain how AHIMA's professional advocacy has influenced healthcare information policy in recent years?
That would definitely be a question
Lauren.
for Lauren.
Hmm. So,
Mhm.
so here's, and this may not be for you either, but this is my thought. I know Lauren does a lot of advocacy as it pertains to me, like whole health or what's happening from a governmental perspective.
Mhm.
When I think of Lauren and the work that she does and the advocacy she does for AHIMA, I see it from my actually from my uh uh I just drew a blank from my public health lens. I see it
Mhm.
from that perspective. Um, Oftentimes when we're talking advocacy, at least advocacy from the local level, even the component level, our advocacy is more around advocacy for our profession and making sure that those who are in positions of uh, hiring, positions of making sure AHIMA is at the table, making sure that um, your HR groups, your FMA groups, hymns, all of those groups. So I'm thinking
Mhm.
about advocacy in that realm. Where does that sit?
Career
Who?
advancement.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
To make sure that those folks are knowledgeable about and are advocating for what AHIMA's members come to the table with.
And
It's one
actually,
thing individually to do it, but collectively as an organization, like I feel like we shouldn't necessarily have to go in and tear down the doors individually for everybody. The door, at least there should be a crack in the door already provided from our association that then allows me to walk in the door and then give my shine, in my opinion. And so I was just curious, who provides those advocacy efforts?
All right. So if you think about it, academic affairs
Okay.
deals with the academic institutions. We
Okay.
deal with helping those professionals come into the profession, come into the field, get the training and that they need to be marketable and be employable. And then once they get they're in those roles and they have those credentials, then you've got career advancement. And we work together. Again, we're working in tandem, that are talking with these employers and talking with the people in these key positions and talking with these organizations that deal with it, such as the Human Resources Association. Was it SHRM? I think the name of it. I don't even know. But talking with them about, hey, if you need people that know how to do this job, you need to hire an HIM professional. So it is a collaborative effort, because not only do the employers need to know how expansive our skill set is, our students and our young professionals need to know how expansive their skill set is. So we work together to do that.
Okay. Okay. Wait, there's a question. How does AHIMA support new HIM professions?
Well, we do have the emerging professionals group that you can join. We also have the town halls that are for the emerging professionals. We have the meetings with the fellows, meeting with industry professionals, where you can ask questions. We also do have opportunities for you to look at career maps to kind of map out your pathway and what you want to do. And then we offer individualized concierge level support if you have specific questions on what you need to ask. I'm available for that. Jennifer is available for that. And it depends on what level you are and what help you need. If you need to ask, hey, this is my initial degree was in nursing and I want to go into informatics, what would be a path? Well, we can talk about several different pathways. We can also talk about certification. So how do you want to get there? Do you want to go through an educational program, or do you want to go through certification? It all depends, but there are multiple pathways to get to where you want to be. I didn't get to working in IT or in education by a prescriptive path. Everybody's path is different. What path fits you the best? That's how we can help.
Absolutely. And I know Mr. Jesse and I both can attest, when we come across someone who is interested in health information, the first thing we ask, are you looking for inpatient type of work? Are you looking for professional outpatient type of work? Because there is a huge difference in the two. And it's a huge difference in how you're going to obtain the career goals that you're looking for in the two. And so, if you're undecided or don't know, then, we try to provide some information. Let's talk about what happens on this side and what happens on this side. And from there, we try to massage the offerings on how to get to their ultimate goal, because folks feel like, oh, I just want to be a coder. Well, you got to know what kind of coder you want to be. You got to know, because there are different tools and different manuals that you need to learn and master in order to be successful in the type of coding that you're looking for. So, and then oftentimes I hear, even from some of my students, oh, I just want to work from home. I just want a job that allows me to work from home, which just gives me, like, really?
Think about it when it comes to education, and this is something that I see on the academic affairs and something that I saw in education, where people will say, come and get this degree. We can get you ready and you can get a job working from home making X amount of dollars. They tell them that to get them in those programs. Once they get in those programs, and it's us that has to say, is it possible? Yes, but is that necessarily going to be the first place you start? Like, you got to start somewhere. So it kind of,
you got to build yourself up to that. Exactly. Like, folks are not going to just trust you with health information off the street to work with.
I can remember when I was the director over a master's program, and they told them, come get this master's in health informatics and you can get a job making 6 figures. And I was like, maybe not right out of school if you've never worked. Now, if you worked in the field and you're getting this as an addition or a supplement, you've got a foundation, Yes, that's possible. But if you came out of undergrad with a degree of basket weaving, and now you're doing a master's in health informatics, let's talk about the four pillars: education, certification, experience, social capital. You gotta utilize all four of the four pillars in order to be able to get to that level. And that's just being realistic.
I like
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
Clarice, could you highlight the comment with the courses, please? Just so and make sure everybody sees it. They're excellent.
All right. Are there any additional questions? We are coming up on the top of the hour. Mr. Jesse.
No, other than Dr. Jasmine, I will definitely be trying to get on your calendar soon.
Yeah, please let's talk about it. So we definitely want to support those that are in that space. With the preceptors, clinical instructors that are in non-enrolled programs, those things. Yeah, I think that'd
She
be
says
great.
from your Tanika has from your experience expertise perspective, why is it a challenge for outpatient coders to transition into inpatient?
Are you asking me that hadn't coded since the Clinton administration?
Ah,
I am going to defer to the coding nurse and to Clarice on that.
Well, I
'Cause
think because
don't
you
want me
don't
to code nothing.
I think folks don't understand the differences in the guidelines, the rules. There are differences in the guidelines from outpatient coding to inpatient coding. Inpatient coders actually have to learn a whole separate. They have to learn PCS. You don't have to have that knowledge base with outpatient and I'm including professional coders.
Mhm.
Um, However, inpatient don't necessarily have to focus on CPT as well. So it's learning it's learning both sides of the house. And oftentimes one will follow one particular path and master that and not necessarily even look back to another coding manual or coding pathway if they don't have to use that on a regular basis. So I to me that's one of the challenges that people come with. Mr. Jesse, did you want to add to anything that you've seen?
now, you know my favorite word is gatekeeping
The gatekeeping as well.
because if you have your like most people, I mean I think that people know if you have your CPC or you work outpatient, I think a lot of people know I have to learn PCS. So once you learn PCS, it should not be that hard because you are used to coding. It's just you're just going to code differently the procedure, but you're going to have already had some level of mastery of ICD-10 CM. So I just think that it's just giving people opportunities. And I just think just overall in general, it's just it's too hard to move around in HIM, especially at that level. Because it's so funny, Dr. Jasmine, that you were saying that you coding wasn't for you. And can I tell you, that's what I love. When I tell I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to manage anybody. I just want to get into a chart and I want to show you how you losing money. That's what I want to do.
Just when I tell you my very first job, and I was thinking, Clarice and I were talking about this. We used to have a productivity 20 inpatient charts a day. You know why I couldn't get through them 20? Because I was on that screen like this. Like, say what now? What, what happened? What? That don't make no sense. What? I don't know what that
I
means.
need the backstory. I need more
Yeah.
information.
Right. Right. I tell people a story about I had a coding. This was when I was an outpatient. We had a patient that was a 60-something-year-old man. He had AGE related macular degeneration. But when they transcribed it, they said AIDS related macular degeneration.
Oh Lord.
And I'm sitting up here like, hey, what? I literally went through all of his records and this was back in the AS400 days. So that lets you know how long ago that was. Okay.
Mhm.
I went through everything looking, and this was ICD-9. I'm looking for VO8 and O42. And if I didn't see it, I was not putting it on that old man chart because he was a Medicare patient and you was not going to mess this man coverage up. Like I took vested interest in that. And I'm like this, huh? Well, why would they put that on there? That don't make no sense. And that messed up my whole day. I did not meet productivity that day because I was all in that chart trying to find them three alphanumeric, either 042 or VO8, because I was not about to put that on their Medicare patient. So,
but see, that's quality. That's quality over quantity that
Right.
gets lost in today's productivity numbers and
Yes.
efforts. And you couldn't even do that today without, your supervisor or your manager saying, well, what happened? You didn't meet this, that, and the third. And providing all kinds of grief and stress and headache. But you wanted to make sure that you were doing the right thing by your patient. And as coders, even though we don't touch the patient, we still touch the patient. We are there to make sure their story is correct. That in the data, that story is correct. And so, yeah.
That is my thing. I was telling Clarice about being admitted to a hospital. I have a condition, Adams TS13, which is more prevalent in the African American community. It causes acquired ITP. I've had 3 of the ladies in my family to have it. All 3 of them have passed. I'm the only one that's still living. But it's, again, more prevalent in the African American community. But when I went to the hospital, they registered me as a married Caucasian female. First of all, pretty sure I've been divorced for 17 years. And I'm also pretty sure that I'm not, not Caucasian. Okay. But if they ever did a research and did data mining to pull African American females with this condition,
you wouldn't have come.
I would never be included.
Correct.
So those are the 2 things that really just fuel my passion around the healthcare, the accuracy of healthcare data. It matters.
It does.
You got to pay attention, and because we're a part of everything from the time a person comes into that hospital until the time that they leave. Even if we do clinical research on those people, you got to make sure that what you have collected is accurate. If not, you won't be able to report things correctly. So, yes, I know, crafted coder. I know. And I was like, I ain't married to nobody. You ain't even asked me that.
Well, thank you, Dr. Agnew, for sharing your invaluable insights about AHIMA membership benefits today. Also, your personal perspective and experiences. Again, your perspective on personal development and the future of health information management has been enlightening. I know our listeners will benefit, and your listeners, because I'm sure they're on here too, will benefit greatly from your expertise and opportunities you've highlighted. And we look forward to seeing these exciting initiatives unfold at AHIMA. But I also want to allow you some church announcements. So if you have any podcasts, anything you got going on, either from a professional perspective or personal perspective that you would like to share for folks to know about, now's your time to shine.
Sure. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I support leaders and learners. We do have some things coming up, not only to support those that are in the education space, but also those emerging professionals. Just stay tuned. Follow me on LinkedIn if you don't already. If you need to talk to me, I have something on there that says book an appointment. I'm not just present, I'm also available. If you want to talk, if you want to talk about your career, if you want to talk about how we can go about finding a way, charting your path, I'm there. I'm available because I understand the importance of education and certification and how it can change your entire trajectory. While I tell the story about me being a young girl from Mississippi that wanted to be a cattle farmer, I also like to tell people that when I graduated from high school, I also was pregnant with my son. I was 18 years old. I really didn't know what I was planning on doing. And again, talking with my mama, I was like, well, since I don't want to be a cattle farmer, I'll just go to nursing school. And she was like, absolutely not. If you can't deal with that calf, you definitely can't deal with people. And if it had not been for that guidance, for me meeting with Dr. Nina Scott and Mary Holly in that health information program, and they're telling me about all the possibilities and what I could do in the field, having those opportunities to get, of course, my 4 pillars, that education, certification, that experience, that social capital, meeting those people, and then being able to have those experiences in the field and seeing how much not only this organization has benefited me, but also just this profession, I wouldn't be Dr. Agnew today. So if you ever have any questions, if you're ever frustrated, if you ever just need to talk about where this profession can take you, book time with me. If I can do 15 minutes, we can do 30 minutes. Come talk to me. Let's see where HIM can take you.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Here's some of your thank you. They're thanking you so much for the information and your time
Welcome.
and all of your sharing of your knowledge and expertise. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. We
You're
appreciate it. And
welcome.
thank you for
Yes, thank you so much.
um take it.
Book time with me, Jesse.
I booked
I
her some
will.
time. Yeah, I booked some time and we just had a conversation and I was like, you know what? You need to come over here. And so she had been telling me, you know, you see me, right? You see me in the comments, right? I'm like, I see you. I see you. Come on over. Come on over.
Yeah. I said, I'm not just present, I'm available. I tell people all the time, you need something, you better call me. I'm sitting right here with the computer.
Look,
Most
I
definitely.
got family down in Montgomery and I got my daughter down in Macon. Don't have me knocking on your door. I'll be down,
Hey,
you know. I
I
love to
live
travel.
right here in Calera. I'm right
Yes.
between Birmingham and Montgomery. Just call me.
Yes. Yes. Well, they got Birmingham. Yes. Okay. You right there. All right. All right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. We can
Yep.
do. We can do. All right, folks. Let's see. So,
All right.
are you thirsty for fresh perspectives on the healthcare revenue cycle? By becoming one of the tea sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. So, why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge together? Come, let's spill the tea on industry insights. So, here's what you can expect as a valued member of the PRNT Sippers. Exclusive healthcare insights. So, gain access to in depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access. Be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead of the ever evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support. Enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my personal favorite, community connection. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. So, by supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So thank you for considering becoming a member of the PRNT Sippers. For the cost of about 2 cups of tea, you can join the community. Check out the link in the description of the video or go to bit.ly/the PRNT Sippers for more information. Remember, your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Yay. So, again, thank you everybody for joining us at the Saturday morning tea or checking out the replay. Let me ask, was the tea spilled today? Was the tea spilled
Most
today?
definitely.
It was
Yes,
spiked.
yes.
It was
Put your
spiked. It was spiked. It was spiked.
yes there. I see the teacups. I see the teacups. Yes, yes, yes. Crafty Color says, yes, come on over to the meeting after the meeting. You won't regret it, baby. That's where it really goes down. Yes. So thank you all again. It was great. But before we sign off, I've got a special request for all you amazing viewers out there. If you found this episode helpful, don't keep it to yourself. Tell somebody. Share it with your friends, frenemies, colleagues, everybody, and hit that share button. And why not subscribe to the channel while you are at it? That way, you'll never miss a drop of our health information, compliance, revenue cycle, and medical coding tea. If you got questions, thoughts, experience that you want to share about today's topic, then we'd love to hear from you. And you can continue to drop comments in the chat. Add the comments after the broadcast, and let's keep the conversation brewing. And if you've enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up as you're going out. It helps more healthcare professionals find our content. And also check out the Coding Nurse channel on YouTube, as well as his website for more information about his classes, thecodingnurse.com. Is it the or no the?
The
Thecodingnurse.com.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, at the Saturday Morning Tea, we're all about building a community of savvy, informed healthcare professionals. So, again, like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let's grow this community together. Mr. Jesse, any final closing thoughts?
I have just enjoyed myself thoroughly. It was really great to get to see you again and really get your thoughts, Dr. Jasmine, and we will definitely be connecting.
Please do. It was good to be
Absolutely.
here. Next time I'll be on in my pajamas.
I know you
Because
will.
I am on
Under the
everything
cover.
on the ground. Exactly. All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you
Again, this
so
has been a great session today. See you tea sippers in about 5 minutes at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Jasmine.
All right.
Everybody
See
have a
you
good
later.
weekend.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.